So, solving systems by substitution. If you think about the word substitution and like when you have a sub in a classroom, the sub replaces the teacher for the day. So substitution just means to replace. So you're going to take something out and replace it. So our first equation we're going to look at is negative 2x plus y equals negative 4, and then y equals 4. Now this is a system because there's two equations. We're talking about both equations together. And again, when you solve a system, you're looking for when the two equations are equal. So you could change this so that it was y equals and then put it in your graphing calculator, but I want us to do this by hand. So we have y equals 4, or negative 2x plus y equals negative 4, and then y equals 4. Well, substitution means to replace, and the reason we do that is because you can't solve this equation right here when there's two variables in the system, or in the equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this y out. Notice both of them, this one says y equals and this one just has a y in it. So we're going to replace the y with what we know y equals. So it tells us y equals 4. So we're going to take out that y and rewrite the equation so that the y is written as a 4. So negative 2x plus, again, change the y to what we know it's equal to, 4 equals negative 4. Okay, now once you've done that, then you're going to just solve. So step 1, we replaced y for what it is equal to. Step 2, we're going to solve for the variable. Okay, so we're going to solve for this variable just like we've done in the past. So if it's negative 2x plus 4, the opposite or inverse of add 4 is subtract 4 and subtract 4. So then we have negative 2x, bring down your equal sign, negative 4 minus 4. Negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8, because if I owe you $4 and I owe you $4 for something else, then I owe you $8. Okay? Then we're going to keep solving. So it's negative 2 times x. Don't let that negative out in front of the 2 mess you up. So it's negative 2 times x. So the opposite of multiply by negative 2 is divide by negative 2 and divide by negative 2. So x equals, a negative divided by a negative will be a positive. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now remember, when we're talking about systems, you always have to write your answer as x comma y. So you're going to take the value that it gave you, so 4 is the x value, so 4 comma. Now there's a few things. Step 3, replace the variable in the equation. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because you're going to have to do it on all of them except for these ones that are set up like this. So it'd be negative 2 times 4 plus y equals negative 4. And then negative 2 times 4 is negative 8 plus y equals negative 4. Then we need to solve for y, so the opposite of a negative 8. Now notice this one is negative 8 plus y, so that's why we're going to add 8. It's not a times like there was right here. So add 8, add 8. So then y equals, sorry, my green pen is going out. Y equals, if I owe you $4 and I give you 8, I gave you 4 extra. So then my y value is also 4. You can look and see right there, though, it told us y equals 4. So I really didn't have to do this step, but you will on most of these equations. So that's the first one. Okay. Now we have y equals 2x plus 4 and negative 5x minus 5y equals negative 5. Again, you're going to follow those same steps. So the first thing you need to do is replace. So notice this one says y equals again, but there's an equation there. So we're going to take out the y and replace it with this stuff, with that whole equation, because it told us this is the equation that finds y, because y equals 2x plus 4. And again, we can only use one variable in order to solve. So I'm going to rewrite this second equation as negative 5x minus 5 parentheses 2x plus 4 close parentheses equals negative 5. Okay, now we just solve. It's a harder, more complicated problem than the last one, but we still just solve. So first thing I need to do is distribute. So what's negative 5 times 2x? Well, negative 5 times 2, a negative times a positive is a negative. 5 times 2 is 10, so it would be 10x. Then negative 5 times a positive 4, again a negative times a positive gives you a negative. 5 times 4 is 20. And then just keep solving. So combine like terms. They're on the same side of the equation, so I just have to combine them. Negative 5x minus 10x. If I owe you 5 and owe you 10, I owe you 15 total. So it would be negative 15x minus 20 equals negative 5. Still keep solving for that variable. The opposite of subtract 20 is add 20, and add 20. So it would be negative 15x equals 20 minus 5 would be 15. Divide by negative 15, because it's negative 15 times x. There's no addition sign between them, so I need to divide, and divide by negative 15. So x equals, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. 15 divided by 15 is 1. So that's our x value, but again, we have to write it as x comma y. Well, we don't know y, and you can't just look at that equation and it doesn't just tell you what y equals. So we have to go and substitute again. So it would be y equals 2 times negative 1 plus 4. I could do it in this equation and it would give me the same thing, but this one's set up easier because I would have to do some manipulation. So I'm going to just use that first one. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, and then plus 4. Negative 2 plus 4. If I owe you $2 and I give you 4, I gave you 2 extra. So then that is my actual solution. Okay, so that's how you solve a system by substitution. Remember, it just means replace. So you're replacing the equations so that you're just solving for one variable.